Talk about, what's going to excite the British audiences about this production most.
Oh, I can tell you that without any hesitation. The depth of the play. So I don't want y'all to come and think it's just relegated around the singing and the dancing and the flash moves that we're doing. No, there's been times when we've cried together, we've been shot at, we've been called an N-word, we've had to find another place to go eat. No, it's got meaning, depth. So it ain't about the way you do the things you do. That's part of it. But we got some of those MFs in there. You'll see that in the play when we cuss each other out. So it's got that kind of meat, that kind of depth, which makes the music even more excitable because we're telling a story that, first and foremost, we people. We, just like y'all's in there, same with us, we just so happen was able to be successful in what we were doing, singing and dancing, and the world come to love us. But we didn't love ourselves enough to stay together. We let other things matter that shouldn't matter. But I've been the constant, not to be going for that. I've been the constant to try and hold it together, and here it is 60 years later. Like I said, I'm riding half the horse. When I get off the horse, it's going to be bald. That's a lot of riding.
60 years later, like you say, in terms of this production, connecting intergenerational people who appreciate the Temptations, who might not know about the whole story, they're the ones that should come and see this, right? The younger generations, in order to get a raw, authentic glimpse at how it was.
Yeah, that's why we want them to see that life comes with the tale of woe, and we don't want them to think that, the Temptations, yeah, we know they good. They didn't do nothing bad. Excuse me, I'm going to say it very graphic. Bullshit on a reindeer's back. Yeah, we were no angels. But through all of what we went through, God blessed us to still be successful. But like I said a few minutes ago, we self-destruct within ourselves. The world loves us. The world loved the Temptations 60 years later. So there's a reason for this group to be around and still be in love and appreciate it and love the music that we're doing. So it ain't no happenstance. This group, and I have to watch it because one day I was being interviewed and I said, well, this is God's group. So evidently this person said, Otis, what you mean by this is God's group? I said, I meant it in the sense that we did ourselves more harm, but God was favorable enough to let us continue on. I said, we should have been through. A lot of people thought we were through when we lost David Ruffin. We got bigger. We started winning Grammys. We sold more platinum and gold. Going to the White House. When I walk in my house, I got all kinds of citations from different people all over the world. And so this group is no happenstance. So like I said, we should have been through a long time ago. Here it is 60 years later, we still enjoying it. So it's got depth. And when they come see it, like I always said, show business is fickle. That's all in how you deal with it. And here we are.
What do you think has meant the music has lasted for this long and is still so popular now? For most people, the younger generation, they'll still be able to pick out the songs from 60 years ago. Why do you think that is?
Oh, I can tell you why. That's easy. Those are songs that will stand the test of time. They're doing that today. One day I'm walking down Melrose, which is a very popular street in LA, because I'm a clothes horse. I'll be going trying to find, the latest this and that. Two young guys, couldn't have been no more than about 17, 18 years old, walked up there and said, Mr. Williams, we know who you are. We don't want to bother you. Y'all make better music than what we have today. And I stood there looking dumbfounded, and they walked on down the street. That's it right there. It's the music. Anytime you can get a music that lay in the subconscious after it's off the radio and you can remember it, that's the sign of a good record. That's the sign of good music. And that's what Motown's music has been about all these years, that it's a constant. We're not talking about, well, I'm going to get this woman, I'm going to do this and that. No, we leave a lot of that to the imagination, what a man and a woman to do. But we say it clean, but with the thing of, okay, I know what the temp's saying. Like I was telling them earlier, when we did, is it going to be yes or no? All right, now when you listen to that song, that's really talking about sexual stuff. Smokey Robinson wrote it. So when we finished it, and Smokey and myself were sitting there listening at it, and I heard the thing in Smokey's voice. I said, Smokey, I know what you're doing, I said, you trying to get the women all hard and bothered, ain't you? From the way he was sounding. He said, yeah, oh, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what it's all about. But it's good music. We're not talking about, stripping a woman down and no. But when you listen to it, is it going to be yes or no? Yeah, it's that kind of thing. But we at Motown know how to do good music where it would not become offensive.
Following on from her question, who do you think is more important culturally, the Temptations or the Beatles?
Oh, I would say they one and one. Beatles, I love the Beatles, and I'm not saying it because I'm in England. When I first heard them, what I really love about the Beatles, great music. Great music, because when I heard Yesterday, that song, Yesterday, I said, ooh, that's great stuff. I love them because out of all the rock bands that have ever existed, I've always said and will say it, Beatles first. Then I'll pick up them because they made great music and they were talented, and I saw how they messed up America in a good sense. But the Temptation, there was a time we were so popular that they called us the Black Beatles. Oh yeah. I said, he said, oh, you don't know what y'all mean to people, but by y'all being black, yeah, we call y'all the Black Beatles because we were having hit after hit after hit. We were going into places that we never thought we would play in. Copacabana broke all existing records there, and like Shelley said earlier, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, going there doing business. We were at the Copa. The police was outside on horses trying to keep the people contained because they were just filtering all up and down 60th Street. They don't get any greater than that. And to be black guys doing this. So the music, the essence of what we do and where we come from, Motown, that's all Barry wanted was great music. That's why Motown became such a phenomenon, because the music is still loved 60 plus years later. Don't get any greater than that. I listen to the stuff on the radio today. I am not impressed. I don't mean to rain on nobody's parade, but when you got to talk about, you got to come out and you got to grab your Johnson or your pants off half, you see them, you crack on your butt. I don't want to see that. They ain't gonna play places like what we play. We've been to the White House about 3 or 4 times. They ain't going to no White House doing that. That's the mark of great music. Colors got nothing to do with it.
What do you think happened?
What? In what way?
To the music. Why is it like that?
Well, the one thing that's constant is change. Got to remember that. Constant change. And it just depends on the change of where it goes. But that's to be expected. I would like to think that some point in time it's going to come back to where songs where people
substance.
Substance. Good word. That's the one I want to use. Where you don't have to cup your child's. They talk about say grab the child's ear because we don't want them to hear that. Motown don't release any of that kind of stuff. We are that ilk. So that's why it's so important to do what we do. And like I said, there comes a time color has nothing to do with it. I was saying earlier, we have been behind shortly after the Iron Curtain broke down. And when we started singing Papa Was a Rolling Stone, My Girl, they knew it, word for word. So I'm on stage saying to myself, how in the hell these people know our songs? And, we singing in one way and they were not able to. I asked, and they said, Mr. Williams, Motown, beautiful music. We know about the Temptation. Y'all got good songs. I'm standing there telling them, geez, that's different. So when you can go behind borders that we never would imagine and touch the human heart and spirit and soul, can't get any better than that.